This is Michelle with Post Status, and here's our next business spotlight. And today I'm speaking with Dominyka from Hostinger, and I am embarrassed to say I've never asked you how you pronounce your last name.
It's Mikšėnaitė.
Okay,
I don't expect people to get it. In my first workplace ever, when I was working in UK, they couldn't pronounce it, so they would call me Milkshake. So yeah. So it's okay.
I'll just stick with your first name.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Sounds good. So you are a digital nomad. You've been traveling around, and you were telling me you're in Mexico now, which is super cool.
Yes, so I'm very thankful to be able to work for Hostinger and to be able to work remotely. I have to say I hate winters and I hate the cold. And so this is my 6th year in a row where I don't get to experience the snow and the rain and the cold. I'm very lucky, yeah.
I don't blame you. I live in Western New York, and I will experience all of the snow and the rain and the cold very shortly. But
exactly.
I choose to live here. I choose to live here, but I also choose to complain about it, which is, that's my option. So I'm glad to have you here today, of course. Wanted to talk to you not only about you, but also about Hostinger. So tell us a little bit. I think it's clear the word host is in it, but tell us a little bit about Hostinger and what Hostinger does.
So Hostinger is the best web hosting company in the world, obviously. It all started back in 2004, and it has grown ever since then. We strive to make sure that anybody that wants to get online would be able to do so seamlessly, and we provide all types of web hosting, ranging from shared hosting, WordPress hosting, cloud hosting, VPS hosting. We want to make sure that everyone that are our clients and users that enjoy the experience with us and would be able to do things in the easiest possible manner.
That's wonderful. Is it managed hosting too then? So people who aren't used to having to keep up plugins and things like that, do you manage that part of it as well?
So we have automated WordPress updates. We pre-install some of the plugins that we feel that are necessary for smooth experience, but it is not fully managed as
Okay.
Where you have like super duper managed, but yeah.
So it's probably right in that sweet spot where it's managed enough, but it's cost effective as well.
Absolutely, yes.
Perfect. And how big is Hostinger? How many people are on your team?
So funnily enough, it was an interesting experience for us to go to our first WordCamp in EU, because every time I would speak to somebody and I would say, hey, there is 1,000 employees at Hostinger, they're like, what? Can't believe that. And we just been called the biggest web hosting company that people haven't heard of.
It's a secret. It's a secret how big you are.
Yeah. So it's 1,000 people, and we're spread all over the world. We're quite huge in Indonesia. We have colleagues in Brazil, in America, like you name it, Lithuania. Obviously, Hostinger is a Lithuanian company, so
Okay.
quite a few work from there. So yeah, we're all over the world, and we're trying to take over the world.
I see that. At least the hosting world, right?
Yes.
And that's awesome. And are you a fully remote company then?
Yes, I would say that the majority of of my colleagues are working remotely, but quite a lot of the people choose to come into our offices in Lithuania. We have 2 offices in Kaunas and in Vilnius. But yeah, we are actually currently looking for a WordPress developer. So here's an ad for
Okay.
that. And like these sort of roles are fully remote. So that's the beauty of it, I think.
I think so too. We've moved into a world where, and obviously the pandemic kind of drove a lot of companies into this. Companies that weren't remote before and weren't even tech are now remote companies. And I think it's freed up the opportunities for people to work for companies that they might not have been able to before, and in the companies also to acquire talent that they might not have been able to before too. So it's been a mixed blessing, of course. I wouldn't wish a pandemic again, but I think that we've all grown through it and found ways to be efficient and profitable through that process.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you and I had met through Slack before, but then we were both at WordCamp US and we got to see each other in person at WordCamp US. And that was I know you were at WordCamp EU, and then we're at WordCamp US. So what are your feelings about WordCamps and being present with all of those people that come to WordCamps?
So actually, my story personally was that I joined Hostinger as an affiliate partnership manager, and then I moved to B2B partnerships, and then I got to go to WordCamp EU in Porto this year only, and the second I entered, I fell in love with the people. I was like, oh my God, I don't know, a lot of things, like this is so new, like any new thing that you start doing, you're a little bit afraid of exploring yourself with it. And WordPress was so welcome and so nice, because in WordCamp EU, the contributor day was the first day of the event. So I joined the community team because I wanted to find out more about community. And I was just blown away by how nice the people are. And as I stayed through the talks and go to meet a lot of new people, I realized that this is exactly what I would like to do, work with WordPress on a day-to-day basis. So then I kind of pinged my manager and said, hey, I know that we will need a community manager, and can I be one? Please, 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 pretty please, with sugar on top. And yeah, and that's how I fell in love with WordPress and WordPressers in particular. And then we traveled to WordCamp US, which was obviously a very different feeling from WordCamp EU. In WordCamp EU, there was around 2,300 people, and WordCamp US obviously there's quite less. But it was super lovely to meet the people from the US, that's like yourself. And once again, thank you so much for introducing me to everyone. I mean, like you are like a person that knows everybody. Like, I'm jealous of your little black book.
I love introducing people to each other. It's one of my, I think it's my superpower, networking, and I like to help other people grow their networks as well. So it was fun to introduce you to people. And you had very fun, colorful hair at WordCamp US, and I have purple hair. So it was like, I got to introduce my other bright colored hair people to each other.
Love that.
It
Yeah,
was so
thank you
fun.
so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Appreciate it.
It was a lot of fun. So tell us a little bit about working at Hostinger, and like, what if somebody was applying for one of your developer jobs, for example, what would be the benefit of working at a company like Hostinger?
I think for me personally, when I joined Hostinger, I realized that a lot of companies talk about principles and values and so on, but we actually take our principles and we use them on a day-to-day basis. What I love the most about Hostinger, and what I think that other companies don't really do, is customer obsession. And I personally, and a lot of my colleagues, from CEO, CMO, product, head of product, down to, customer success agents, we have on a weekly basis, we have client interviews. We just offer for our users to jump on a call with us and tell a little bit about themselves, what made them choose Hostinger, what they like about it, what they don't like about it. And we gather that feedback and, share it with our teammates, and we improve on those things where we can. And, we that way we are always on top of everything, that could be the best as it could be at Hostinger. So I really love that. I love that, the people culture is very strong, and we strive to give each other feedback and grow together. There's a lot of courses and things that you could take up if you want to learn a new skill, or improve your current skill set. Obviously I love the fact that I can work remotely, like being in Mexico sunshine is amazing. But yeah, it's one of the most wonderful companies I ever worked for, because I always feel heard. I always feel that I can make a change, and I think that is the key in for any human being, for their personal growth, is that you could make an impact with your ideas. And at the moment, for example, I'm learning about WordPress ecosystem, and and I'm so glad that I'm able to share my knowledge with my colleagues, and to see how we can improve our products and services in that manner. So yeah, it's a beautiful company, and it's a beautiful thing to be working for it.
I love it. I love that you're so enthusiastic about it. I think it speaks volumes for any company when somebody can speak so enthusiastically about being a part of the culture there. So, and it's one thing that to like say what the company wants you to say, and you're not excited about it. But when you talk to somebody who literally has that excitement about their job, it's definitely says this might be a place somebody might want to work. So if you are listening and you are a developer in WordPress, head over to the Hostinger site and find their careers page, because you might find the job that you're looking for there.
Yay.
So tell us what you get out of being a post status member. So what has been, I know you haven't been in post status too long because you're new to a lot of things, but obviously you're making the most of it. You're coming, I've seen you at our member huddles and talking to people. So what's important to you? Why do you think it's important to be a part of post status?
I think it goes back to the thing of getting to know WordPress community, being someone so new. There are so many people that have been in WordPress from day one, or for the past 15 years, or even past 10 years, or so on. And for us being so new within it, it's just such a wonderful way to get to know people. For me, I read your newsletter like from from top to bottom every single time, because there are so many news that maybe I might not be able to catch somewhere else. So in that newsletter, I get all updated, and I have everything I need. Obviously the member huddle has been really nice. It's actually one of the nicest things, just to be able to talk about day-to-day things with people you kind of barely know about, but through those calls you really, really get to connect with them on a personal level. And yeah, and I have made some connections from the huddles where I feel like, hey, I can reach out to this person and say, hey, would we be able to have a call and you tell me more about your WordPress story? So it's about networking and making new friends.
I agree. And I love our Slack too, because I learn so much. Yes, I'm on Twitter, and yes, I'm in the industry, but I'm not everywhere all the time. And so the things that bubble up to people talking about in the main channel there are things that I'm like, oh, I wasn't aware that was happening, or or even if I'm aware of it, getting like other people's inputs on things and reading what they think. For example, Twitter is a big conversation right now since the takeover by Elon Musk. And so lots of conversation about what people are doing there. And so it's just a wealth of information and knowledge right there under, one Slack where people can reach out and talk to each other, which I think is pretty cool. So I'm glad you're taking advantage of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic.
It's been an amazing journey.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad that you are part of Post Status, and that Hostinger is part of Post Status, and that we've made the connection. And of course, hope that we are able to help Hostinger move forward even more as we do with our business members. So thank you for being part of it. Is there any last thing you'd like to say before we go to the, cut to the end, as they say?
I and the Hostinger team, and I actually grammatically correct. We will be attending WordCamp Asia. So if anyone is going, they can reach out to me. It's very easy. Dominyka@hostinger.com. I actually asked, everybody has like first name dot last name at hostinger.com. But I asked to have first name only because I feel like like you said, not a lot of people can spell that
Yeah.
out. So Dominyka@hostinger.com. Please reach out to me, to set up a meeting, a lunch, whatever. I'm very eager to learn and to meet new people. And if you have any feedback or you have any questions, I want to be, as open as possible and be there to answer people's questions. So
Excellent. Well, thank you for taking time to meet with me today and to tell us more about Hostinger, but also to get to know you better. So thank you so much.
thank you so much, Michelle. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure.